I hope you're good. Today we are gonna do another paint splat challenge, but this time we are going to use an unconventional material. And I wasn't sure what materials to use because we've done acrylic and we've done watercolour. But as I was getting dressed for this video and putting my good old neutral bare minimum makeup on today, I saw this. And this is, I think, the brightest eyeshadow palette I've ever seen. And it gave me an idea. I do not use bright colours on my face, but I do use them in my illustration. I don't wear that much makeup. I'm often working at home, so it's pyjamas and hair shoved up in a bun or just down. But makeup wise, generally just foundation, maybe a bit of mascara. I stick to my browns if I ever do go out. I thought there's so much makeup that I don't actually use, so bright and colourful. Some of this I have had for years. Actually embarrassing. I was going to use paintbrushes and normal painting equipment, but where would the fun in that be? So we are going to use actual makeup brushes. These are new and some old ones that I don't use. I mean, what is this one for? But anyway, I got some new ones, just some cheap ones, because I didn't want to ruin the ones I actually use, you know, for my browns and my neutrals. But I don't even know what colour I am. The whole spring summer situation, or autumn or winter, yeah. Who knows? So if anybody can tell me and help me out, that would be great. In the same shop, some of these fun little doodads. Makeup sponges. Basically, we're just going to look at making different marks again and putting them together. I'm not looking at making a picture yet or anything like that. That will come when we bring it back to my studio and then turn it into an illustration like we tend to do. So let's do it. My lights aren't even on. That's a good start. One. So now we are going to try our paint splats with our makeup. I have no idea what is going to actually work. We can't say I have painted with makeup on paper, but here goes nothing. Okay. This is left over from my other paint splat video, and it's technically watercolour paper, but I have no idea what's going to work. Let's see. And again, I've got to remember not to paint anything, not to purposely paint a picture. So, got all these beautiful colours. Let's get that. We'll try them both. So this could actually be a total disaster and we may not actually make anything, but here goes. Oh, see how bright. I'm drawn to the bright colours, of course. Let's see, so. Let's see how it takes. I mean, I thought these might be a bit brighter, but that's fine. They are powders, so see on the brush, look how bright that is. But on the paper, I know, the pink is better. I mean, I'm actually gonna going with the creams. This is literally like a paint tube, so I have high hopes. Also, this is the makeup I actually use, so don't want to use it all up if I can help it. Oh, that's fun. Here. It's very shiny. Of course, makeup, but I'm very glad I got other paintbrushes to do this, so other paintbrushes, other makeup brushes, so I'm not ruining Oh, that's nice. That's a lovely gold. Okay, so that works. Oh, when you get the strokes. Oh, I love that dry brush texture. I actually think that, oh, dabbing works quite nicely. I like that. Don't forget to comment below any unusual material that you'd like me to try and make an illustration out of. Not really seeing anything yet, but oh, I absolutely love this colour. Can actually see it could be like a grassy type of image, or I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to try these other colours, doing the way that we were before. This colour, even though it looks really dark, really doesn't want to come out. Like, come out, come out, or not. This, if I, oh, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, and I don't need to worry about using too much of this. This must be about over 20 years old, so probably shouldn't be putting it on my face. Which is good, because look. So after I kind of discovered a technique, can we call it a technique? Yeah. After I discovered the technique of putting the makeup down on the paper, I decided to experiment more and try and get the colours how I would want them to be in an actual illustration. Because the idea is I'm going to scan this in and then I can work with it digitally to enhance it and to create, hopefully, an illustration at the end of this. I also really tried to experiment with blending and seeing kind of how it all worked together. Yeah, I will definitely have to photograph this to get this onto my iPad because there is so much powder everywhere. Here I was just really trying to make sure I had all the colours down, because where we were going to do a kind of mix and match Frankenstein-y thing with this image to create the final illustration, I wanted to make sure I had all the different parts that I would need to sort of copy and paste together later on, like a kind of odd, very odd jigsaw puzzle. So I took the main images and I took photos of this, but obviously trying to get really good photos of makeup with the shine was quite difficult. So I had to quickly put them into Photoshop and up the brightness just to try and make basically the white. Then it was time for me to pop them onto my iPad and get to work with sketching and putting together a kind of concept and idea. The colours really said to me a very natural outdoor colour, like with flowers and things. It was really about kind of cutting and pasting parts of the images, like I did here. It was cutting out, rubbing out parts that I didn't think would work. Basically Frankensteining an image together of the background I wanted to create, and then I would draw the character within it. We all know how much I like drawing the character first, but this time I did not. This time, I did do the background first, and I'm glad I did, because it really did dictate what the image was actually going to be, depending on the marks that I had to work with. Now we've sketched out our idea, it's time to add it all together and add the colour together. I'm definitely going to be using a mix and match, because obviously it's good to enhance the textures and the colours that we got from the makeup. Obviously we've done an acrylic video, a watercolour, And now makeup. I wonder what we're going to do next. When working on a mixed media piece, it's important that you have areas where you work with the colours and also areas where you let the different media stand out and you kind of let them be the star of the show. As I do really want to enhance and show that this is made of makeup. There is powder everywhere in my studio, so you might as well see it. I'm actually really surprised at how whimsical and kind of enchanted and bright that these colours are that came up with the makeup, and the powder and the little flecks of colour I think do really enhance the image. It is really about, and I cannot emphasise this enough, the two media working together, and you do want both of them to shine. And I also definitely looked at a reference image of a pond skater, because when I saw this and I was colouring all the blues and laying the initial makeup down, all I could kind of see was the natural pond and all the colours, which definitely lent itself to this style and the combination. I have to say, doing this really did make me fall in love with all the marks and all the kind of colours that you wouldn't necessarily see together and mix, but the fact that it had on the makeup and we got extra flecks where we wouldn't really want them. But I loved all the random colours and the happy accidents, let's call them, that it gave. So I did try and work on this a bit more with the digital side of things, and I did add my own little flecks in just to make it look like it was on purpose, and I worked with it instead of against it. I have to say, I am really shocked and really surprised at how well the background came out. I can't believe it was actually made with makeup. I honestly thought this was going to be a disaster of an idea, but it was going to be fun. So to have something that I really like come out of it is definitely a bonus. And when it came to colouring the character, I really wanted her to stand out and kind of make her own mark. And in such a colourful environment, the way that I could achieve this was to make her more subtle, still bright with her colour, but definitely more subtle, looking at the natural colours of the pond skater, but obviously adding my own little twist and touches to her character to make her my own. And especially where she was a different colour to the rest of the image, I really wanted to bring in those colourful flecks and the colourful flecks and dots into her character and her dress, just to bring all of the image together, so it looks like she really does fit in with her environment. And when it came to the character's wings, which are actually quite difficult because you really want to make them obviously look like they're there, but also make them look fine and kind of really delicate at the same time. It's actually quite tricky. But I did find doing this in a scribblier style and making sure that they weren't fully coloured did achieve this, which was very helpful because I do like scribbling.
Working on the final touches, I kind of think that these were actually some of the most important bits, as you really need to make her feel like she belongs in the image. So, as she is based on a pond skater character, it was important that she was skating on the pond, of course. I mean, that was a no-brainer, but I really wanted to try and create a sense of like magic and wonder, as realistically a pond skater is not a person. But this image really did give off the enchanted kind of vibes and feelings. And we also know how much I love to draw characters. I really did experiment with lots of different brushes here just to get the right effect that I wanted to create, that she was floating or skating on the pond like a pond skater would be. And then it was about doing my whole zooming in and outy thing just to make sure that all the colours were balanced and I was happy and there weren't any bits that I needed to add, which of course there were, as always, but it's all about those finishing touches.
I really enjoyed what we came up with. I cannot believe that this was done with makeup. It sort of works very much like paint. It depends on the pigment and the colour you want to use, and you can mix it together just like paint. So it was really fun getting this onto my iPad and using this as the base for the illustration. I'm really happy with how it came out. Goes to show you can use anything, any materials you can be creative with. So you shouldn't be limited if you haven't got paint. I also find this is a really good way of repurposing old makeup, because especially ones that have been around 10 years, you probably don't want to put that on your face. So it's a good way of mark making, using up extras, anything you've got left behind. Yeah, these little pots I have actually had since high school. Oh my goodness, I'm over 20 years old, so I don't really want to use this in my makeup. Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed making an illustration out of paint splats again. I can't believe we have done acrylic, watercolour and now makeup. Don't forget to comment below if there's any unconventional material that you'd like me to try next, and I'll see you in the next video.